Welcome back to another video. The season starts in 2 days against Crawley Town away from home. Let me know your thoughts going into that game. What are your expectations this season? Are you optimistic going into a season? What are your thoughts on all the other teams as well? Did I leave you looking around feeling pessimistic around the new League 2 season, or do you just feel a good sense of optimism like every other start to a League 2 season for Bradford City? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're new as well. Let's get into it. So Crawley Town, we're just going to start off with them. Obviously they're in chaos with their owners, and then hopefully they can get out as fast as possible because they're running that club into the ground. Something that we've known all too well in recent years. Obviously in around 2018-19 was it, with Edin Rahik. But thank God we ended up getting him out quicker than we probably thought, and maybe it's Stephen Whoop sort of pushed him out the door. And then obviously in the early thousands with Jeffrey Richmond, and obviously recently Gordon Gibb came in, and he's got the old flamingo and £5 on the sleeve. Let me know what you think of him in the comments down below. But it actually was this Sunday in 2002 when Gordon Gibb came into Bradford City, or was at least in advanced talks, because Jeffrey Richmond sold the club then, and we're playing against Crawley Town, whose owners are ruining that football club. And it's a shame to see another club that looks like are going to go out of existence because of the owners and how they've been running it. A fan has only recently just got banned by the club for leaking the club's shirt by, I think, retweeting it or something along the lines of that. But it was actually the goalkeeper who put it on Twitter for him to retweet. I mean, it's just an absolute farce what's going on. They're signing non-league players, and the only positive is Scott Lindsay, and hopefully he can keep them up, but not at the expense of us. But we all know what's going to happen. We've followed Bradford City far too long now. We know we're probably going to draw 0-0 against Crawley on Saturday and start the season off to a flyer against a team that's tipped to finish bottom, and that is my prediction. I'm going to go 0-0, but we'll get into a team and a few other bits as well. But we'll start off with key players, and for them, also on that topic, Mr. Nobody. They haven't got a key player. I mean, you could still argue Don Telford's the only sort of star that's still there, the only decent League 2 standard player that's there. Got around 10 goals last season, maybe, but everyone else has gone, who you'd probably consider average League 2 players. They're doing a mess, and hopefully they can get it sorted out. Past and presence, Aridamide Ote, Don Polion, and ain't nobody like Mark Marshall. He was there last season as well. I think he played against us for a few minutes. I'm not sure if he scored actually, but anyway, he's retired now. Fantastic spell at City. The other two not so much. Don Polion obviously went on to do great last season at Fleetwood, but again, two other strikers that didn't quite City. Our Mediote has now gone on to play for Walsall this season. It'll be interesting to see when he scores against us. Pre-season, mixed results I'd say. I think there were a good workout in Spain when we jetted off to Alicante, and then obviously we came back to Bradford. I think we then went to Bolton, did we? 5-2 defeat there. I think we were 2-2 before I made a load of changes. Hull and Borough, good games. There were positives we could take out of it, negatives as well, but against two championship sides to get 2 points is pretty, well, 2 draws, pretty good going. Rochdale, we were poor, we didn't take our chances. And then obviously Bury was a good, memorable game where we hammered them, but it was good to get back at Gig Lane and to see that, well, it wasn't full, was it, but it's good to see that football's back there. And we've also on about Crawley's owners. Let's hope that similar story doesn't flow with Crawley. And then, when you look at key players, I think Timmy Odyssey has made a good case for him to be playing in that back three because of the assets, his pace. And then, there's a few others who did well, Patterson, but on the whole, I don't think many players really put in a case to be starting for the season. But where do you stand on the pre-season games? Are just glorified training drills? For me, they are. I don't think there's too much competitiveness in there. The fans are up for it as much, so you don't see that from the stands that can G players on. And then you've obviously got the fact that players are just trying to get fitness, so you get players that are a bit more stiff. So into a starting 11 then, I've got with the 3-5-2, because it's a formation we're going to be playing, I suspect anyway. Harry Lewis in goal, fantastic season last season. Let's hope he can continue his vein of form and take that momentum through to this season. Matty Platt, Sam Stubbs and Odesina at the back. We need Odesina at the back. If we start Kelly, Taylor, Platt or Stubbs, for me that just rings red flags, because we need pace at the back, and with Odesina, Stubbs and Platt's not the slowest, but he also isn't the quickest. Stubbs is quite slow, but at least he's got that physical ability and that competitiveness. I think he's got to be in at the back, because he were fantastic at the back end of last season coming in from Exeter, and Timmy Odesina's got the pace to recover for their mistakes or his mistakes with his lack of physicality. The other two can recover for that, so I think that's the best back three we've got, but I don't think we'll start with it. I think it'll probably be Kelly at left centre backs, maybe Taylor and Stubbs, but for me that's the one I'd be going with. Which partnership and combination would you be going for? Let me know in the comments down below. Then as wing backs I've got Halliday and Gilead. Gilead over Rydal was an easy option for me. We cannot be starting with Liam Rydal. Please Mark Hughes, do something about that. I don't mind if he's a backup player for injuries, like I don't mind if Luke Hendry is, but please, for God's sake, do not start Liam Rydal every game this season. I can't watch him. I cannot watch him for another 90 minutes. Not against him, he's just terrible. That's all it is to it. He's too slow, slows the game down, and he's just not up to the ability that we need him to be. Prove me wrong, please, but honestly, I can't go with that again. And I don't think Clark Odraz's good enough defensively to play as a left wing back. Maybe against a team like Crawley, who are expected to come towards the bottom of the table and will probably dominate a lot of the ball. Maybe he'll suit him, that sort of game, because he can play as a sort of a winger, and maybe if Odesina can cover down that side, I can see that sort of opening. But I think Gilead's sort of the average player who can do a job over there. Aladdin right back over Oyugoki. It was a tough one. I've liked Oyugoki in pre-season. He looks a bit raw, but Halliday, he's steady. He's a 7 out of 10 every game. Don't really put a foot wrong, and if he does, he's had a terrible game. So I would stick with him, but I won't be against it if Oyugoki starts. Smallwood and Patterson in midfield. I think that's a really strong midfield. Patterson had something that we didn't have last season. Gives us a bit more of a threat in and around the penalty box. And Walker, Cook and Tyler Smith. Now I'm not sure if Tyler Smith is fit to play, so if he isn't, forgive me, I would probably just play Derbyshire up front, and that's my concern. Oliver's missing. Smith, I think, had a knock, so he's missed Rochdale, and the game before Rochdale, forgot who it was. So that leaves us with Cook and Derbyshire for this game, and we really light up front, so I think we do need to be bringing in a striker who can give us a different option out wide to make us flexible. But yeah, we definitely do need another striker, a left wing back. As you see by that team selection, if you're playing a midfielder in left back, you're not prepared for the season, and I don't think we are. In terms of opening day, we are 7 unbeaten on the opening day, which is a fantastic record. I mean, not that we've got anything to show for any of that, and it does go to show it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Look at Stockport last season. Yeah, if they didn't start as slow, they would have gone up, but they still had a very good season, better than us. They started slow. Bolton down the years, Blackpool, I think, and maybe Bristol Rovers as well, more recent. In how you start is how you finish, so hopefully we do get off to a good start, and hopefully we should be getting a win against Crawley, who, it just isn't looking rosy for them at the minute. Hopefully they can get it all together over at that side of London. So let me know your thoughts going into a game in the comments down below. Let me know your score predictions, who you think is going to score, which combination would you be going at the back, would you be sticking with a 3-5-2, what Mark Hughes would be going, or would you go with a different formation? What would you be strike partnership if Tyler Smith doesn't play? Would you then maybe go to more of a narrow formation, go with one up front, and maybe bring Odesina and Walker in behind Andy Cook? There's loads of different combinations, as there always is at the start of the season, but we know come January we'll be screaming at Mark Hughes because he's probably picking the same team every game week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like if you do, if you did, subscribe if you're new. Have a good one.